everyone, my name is Jaybird and welcome back to Amorous. Happy 4th of July, aka Independence Day, my fellow Americans. Today I went to a street fair in my hometown and I got kettle corn and it's stinking at my room because but it's not a bad stink, it's a good stink. Oh my god, I love kettle corn, and I love elephant ears. They had elephant ears, but they were $5 and I only had $4. So, I couldn't get them. But, there is always the county fair, and they always have those kind of things. So, I will look forward to devouring all the elephant ears there. I'm kind of fat. But really, there wasn't much to do there. And you know, it's funny. I went all goth today, but I kind of compromised with the American wear too. So I picked a black t-shirt that has white and red writing on it. And then I wore a denim jacket, which was blue. So, I compromised both aesthetics. But anyways, oh my god, it smells so good. But anyways, we're just gonna get back into it. We're gonna fucking suck a dick and probably gonna call this. I knew that focusing on his writing was going to eat up Seth's time, but it seemed like forever since I last saw him. You know, it's been about a week. No phone calls, no texts, nothing. It was enough to make me question if I hadn't been just confused about the signals. I thought we had a connection. He was certainly interested in me, but this undermined the whole idea. Why else would he have just leave me hanging? Maybe he really did just want some temporary company. Kobe was there for me. We even went to the club a couple of nights to see if Seth had shown back up there. Sadly, there was no sign of him. Eventually, I'd given up and just slumped on the couch and lost myself in daytime television. Ah, yes, infomercials and the like. I remember one time when I still lived with my dad, because my parents are divorced. So and even though my mom had full custody of us, she would still let us stay, I think, weekends, every other week at my dad's house. So I remember one time I was staying at my dad's house and we had a little TV, and I don't know why, but it was just stuck on the infomercials channel, and I don't remember how it got on it, how the channel changed to that. And I don't know why I let it on so long, but I didn't bother changing the channel. I don't even remember why. Maybe it was because I was just stupid and maybe the remote was broken and I tried. Maybe the remote needed new batteries or something, but I think I remember trying to change the channel, but I couldn't find anything or something. I don't know. All I remember is just big stupid little kid. And just watching infomercial channel all day. I don't even remember why. I also remember one time when I was flipping through channels, I saw this one religious cartoon, but it wasn't anything mainstream, Prince of Egypt or anything. I don't remember what it was. It was really weird though. Only saw a glimpse, but anyways. Why am I talking about infomercials? Oh yeah, daytime television. See, I had a connection. I wasn't normally like this, but putting myself out there only to wind up with nothing, it was a hard thing to just bounce back from. Sorry, I misread that. I knew I'd eventually have to pick myself back up, but for now it just felt comfortable just to wallow. Oh yes, I know that feeling. I know it all too well. Why don't you... Wait a minute. Did you ever text him? Did the character ever text Seth? doesn't hurt to do it first and take the initiative, you fucking piece of shit. Though I can understand how painful that is because I never really take the initiative most of the time because I got too used to being rejected most of the time. Like, oh, can you hang out today? No, I can't. And I got so used to that happening almost every single time I've asked someone to hang out that I stopped. Sometimes I don't bother asking people to hang out anymore. I'm trying to grow out of that habit of not taking the initiative, but it's really hard sometimes. But anyways, enough about me. Let's get back to the stupid fucking game. Kobe was in the shower and I had just finished watching the 5th rerun in a row. But of what? When there was a knock at the front door, my instinct was to ignore it. I couldn't think of anyone who might be stopping by. There's no period there. A second knock eventually got me off the couch and stumbling towards the door. I half expected it to be some local group doing fundraising. At this point, I was feeling low enough that wolfing down a box of cookies sounded like a good idea. You should just make cookies. It'd be funner. When I'm sad sometimes, I make cookies. I bake. When I'm really stressed out or really bored or just whatever, I bake. Sometimes homemade goods, sometimes like boxed stuff. Making cookies is fun, but also it's kind of hard on my hands because I have really weak hands. And like when it comes to like stirring like that mixture of like flour and all that like you know, compacted stuff, it really takes a toll on my hand. And I remember one time I also had to do house cleaning. And then afterwards, it was Christmas time. I baked a bunch of cookies. I remember my hand was so red by the time I was stirring the cookies and like the mix, and my fucking hand was shaking like a fucking kid on Adderall or something. Kid on caffeine. Whatever. Gemma, I'm so glad it was the right house. How the fuck do you know where I live? Seth, what the heck are you doing here? I would have said something more appropriate as what the fuck are you doing here at my house? How the fuck do you know where I live? How did you know where I lived? Why didn't you call? Well, the not calling was due me being a scatterbrain, and apparently I'm not smart enough to actually put words in my sentences. That's probably why I'll never be a published author. Because my fucking writing sucks. When we parted ways, my head was buzzing with a million ideas, and also all of my blood flow went to my crotch, and it was a very bad problem. I was thinking more with my brain in my pants than the brain in my head. If you know what, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying anymore. I'm tired of life. I had to get them out before they drove me crazy. And one of those ideas involved losing my number? Indirectly, yes. I tossed my pants in the wash before I went to bed, and like I normally do. I'd forgotten your number was in the pocket. So I started the machine in the morning, and by the time I realized my mistake, all that remained was a soggy lump of paper. Okay, but why didn't you stop by the club or anything? I checked a couple of times and didn't see you. I was cloistered in my apartment, subsisting. Oh my god, I'm fucking stupid. On delivery food and coffee. Don't you mean substaining? In retrospect, it could have been something strange out of a novel I read. It was intense. It just kept pouring out of me. I never thought it was like that. What came out of you? Was it a sticky, salty fluid that was also kind of white? What came out of you? And you still haven't explained how you found my address. I mean, I'm a little upset you didn't call, but not about this, I think. It's just weird. That's not how you spelled weird! That's not how you spell weird! You're a fucking retard!
That I could write a whole story about. It was...
Me! I found him for you. Oh, God. Kobe?
What? Kobe, thanks again. You're a lifesaver.
At least he's wearing pants. Last night I overheard him at the bar asking about you. You'd mentioned a cute feline you'd been seeing.
You called me cute? I'm not cute at all.
Anyway, I mentioned I was your brother. We got to talking for a bit and I told him how down in the dumps you were lately.
I felt terrible about that. I mean, I was a little flattered that you were pining for me.
My cheeks began to flush red as I stammered out of defense. I wasn't pining! I was just sad! Since I hadn't heard from you in so long. I told him that he should drop by today and catch back up with you. Maybe get you off the couch for a while. Or maybe stay on the couch and we can exercise a little.
And here I am, groveling on a bended knee.
Are you?
I can't tell you how amazing our first time together was! I never even kissed a girl before! I've never even seen my own penis in a sexual way! I've never even seen pornography!
What?
I wouldn't want you to think I just leave it at that.
First time doing what? Huh? Both me and Seth blushed profusely as Kobe began to laugh. Ha 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 ha! You two are way too easy to embarrass. I think I'm liking the idea of Seth and you. Kobe, how about you go and make some coffee for all of us? Seth and I need to talk. Alright, I know when I'm no longer needed.
You were right about him. He is quite the character.
He's my brother. We have always been there for each other. He does get a little nosy about my personal life sometimes, however.
It's good to have someone who cares about you.
You still haven't told me what kept you locked up by yourself for so long. Wasn't bad. Something bad, was it?
Porn addiction? Bad? Not in the least. I was just in the middle of writing erotica to rival 50 Shades of Grey by...
What's her name?
E.L. James.
I had to pause there. I don't remember her. All I know is that all I know is the fucking Twilight fanfiction lady. Without another word, he turned away and began digging through his book bag. A moment later, he handed me a pile of papers all neatly collated and held together with a binder clip. My arms almost sagged at the weight.
There it is! All thanks to you and your brilliant inspirational techniques.
Oh god.
What the fuck does that mean? Techniques?
What What is all this? I'm still not getting it.
It's the story we talked about. I sat down and wrote it, beginning to end.
You are a fucking madman. No one can do that! It must be a really shitty story. It must need a lot of proofreading because there's gonna be a whole shit ton of grammar mistakes in that. It's true it had been a while, but this was nearly a ream of paper I was holding. The amount of work and time he was suggesting would be mind-boggling. Nevertheless, there it was, a little title page and thousands of words that followed. Wow, you must have been really inspired. When you suggested I give you an idea to write, I didn't expect it would completely consume you.
I know! I've never been this driven before. It's called sexual...
I think you have a problem.
Before it was your encouragement or your practicality. I just knew that when I got home I was focused like I'd never been before. And it's all thanks to my hormones.
Honestly, I didn't know what to make of any of this. I had mostly thought it was just some playful game, like his interview. The pile of papers in my hand suggested otherwise.
I want you to read it. Not this very second, of course, but go through the whole thing.
Oh god. You have so much high expectations for me. Hey, you better be paying me for reading your goddamn bullshit, you motherfucker. Better give me like half the profits if you make money off this book.
And don't worry, no more radio silence from me. Kirby insisted on watching me program your number into my phone, and I won't be losing that anytime soon.
Why not now? Why not now? It's not like I have a pressing need to keep watching daytime TV. Did you have any other items on your schedule for today?
Really? I mean, no. There's nothing important I need to do. I really didn't expect this, though. I thought I was the only crazy one in this relationship.
Oh, you're calling this a relationship already? What? Far from it, my feline friend. Oh god. So many F's. Now let's head into the kitchen and get you some real food while we go over this. I was happy to catch up with Seth, even with Kobe listening in intently. We had some pancakes, light conversation, and once Kobe had gotten a few pages of Seth's work away from the pile, he insisted we sit down and read the whole thing. It was astounding. The indecisive tone was gone, and there was a confidence to it that I hadn't seen in the snippets he'd shared with me. I began to feel awkward for having such a profound effect in so little time. That's called obsession. Eventually, once the dishes were cleared, we got to chatting about more than just writing.
Is it wise to invite me into your bedroom so soon?
I don't think you have the confidence to do anything, you fucking virgin. Did you have some ulterior motives I was unaware of?
Well, no, I mean none that I would act on. I mean...
Shut the fuck up. I get the feeling there was something else you want to tell me.
It isn't all about the writing. Don't get me wrong, you've been an amazing inspiration, but I wanted to know if there was something more.
Something more?
Like, I mean, I'm attracted to you. You're attractive. There, I said it. Wow, it feels good to get that off my chest.
And it's not too bad to hear either, I admit. I'm just baffled. Do you think I was only after you for your writing skills and inquisitive nature?
I suppose not on some deeper level. I've just gotten my signals crossed before, and it's not important. It's more important that we're on the same page, and that I give you a proper date next time.
Next time?
I look forward to it.
Not that I don't enjoy our conversations, but it's nice to be wined and dined as well. Something romantic and intimate would be great.
It's a date, or it will be. I just need some time to plan. I'm not particularly well versed in that sort of thing.
Fair enough, but don't leave me hanging like that again. I can only take so much before I'd have to hunt you down and force you to buy me some chocolates. Oh man, I can relate. I can relate! Buy me some fucking chocolates, please. I love chocolate. I love chocolate.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Still, we don't need to wait to have a good time. Unemployment is still looming large over me, and you seem pretty free today. Is there something you would like to do?
This is pretty nice, no?
He looked so adorable when his cheeks were flushed. I leaned over to ruffle his ears. Ugh. Oh, fuck. Oops! Mixing up the voices! So you just want to stay cooped up in someone else's bedroom?
Not just someone's. Oh, God.
Ugh. Ugh. It's so creepy! So creepy! So creepy!
Not just someone's, yours specifically.
More ulterior motives? If this is all about your plans to keep us in bed, should know about that? What? Should I know about that? I can lock the door so Cubby doesn't barge in.
What? No! I mean, not...
Stop! It's creepy!
What? No! I mean, not quite, but... You're enjoying this, aren't you?
A little bit. Actually, quite a bit. You know, I've never gotten to see your place. I imagine it's quite nice.
It's serviceable, but Spartan. I'm afraid I'm not terribly good at the domestic side of things.
Don't decorate? No time to decorate? Do you not like furniture, or is your glamorous life of writing simply eat up all of your free time?
Well, the last few nights it has certainly eaten up all my time. But no, it's just an area where I don't really expend the effort. A home can be very transitory. I suppose I'm not really attached to my apartment.
Sometimes I thought that way. I can understand a little. When I was younger, looking at the pictures of my parents, seeing the pictures of Kobe when he was younger, it used to make me feel disconnected. Step-family and all, you know?
I can see that being difficult. For me and my family, it was just different drives. My father liked to work and my mother liked to be a mother. It worked out well for them, but when I decided to get my degree in English, there were discussions.
As the two of us got to chatting, it made me realize just how little we really knew about each other. No shit! God! Seth was happy to share it, and he brought out some things of my own that I hadn't thought about in a long time.
I know it sounds cliche, but being the only child and having expectations put on you can be hard in its own way. And apparently one of those expectations is proper grammar. But I can't live up to everything, you know? That's why I'm such a disappointment to my parents. Some part of me thinks that I'll never be anything but a disappointing footnote for my parents.
Well, that's not a healthy line of thought. Parents can be more forgiving than you think. Mine trusts me to keep Kobe in line, but he also keeps me from staying sad for too long. They knew we were a good fit when we all started living together. Oh, that's kind of creepy. Maybe you just haven't given yours enough time to come to terms with your choices.
Maybe so. I suppose if I'm not great at reading people, I may not have been good at reading them. Goodness knows, once college started, I all but vanished from our lives. That's so incorrect.
Oh, not only can he not write well, but he also can't speak well. Breaking fourth walls and everything. If I may, you do seem to get lost in your own head. You can't have experienced everything yet, so you can't expect to know everything either. Yeah, you fucking virgin scum.
What? I'm just...
You guys are a virgin watching this. I don't have anything against virgins. I was one too. Okay? I have internal rage! Anyways.
Well, before we get too deep into a depressive bit, that's what I call my vagina. I'm all over the place today. Happy 4th of July. I think we should change the subject.
Fair enough. Did you give any more thought to getting your stuff published?
I thought you might have forgotten about that suggestion. No, I haven't really been looking into places to publish.
Well, why not? This in particular is some of your best work. You need to at least put yourself out there and give it a try.
I wouldn't even know where to begin. It's the first substantial piece I've written since I graduated. I don't even know if it's any good.
Aren't there books about this? Why not self-publishing? If you're concerned about getting picked up, why not just self-publish? I hear it's super easy now.
It is, but it's also flooded with everyone else who wants to be a writer. I'd be fighting against hundreds, if not thousands, of other people without so much to make me stand out.
Believe me, your writing stands out. Kobe's the least bookish person I know, and he couldn't put it down.
Thanks, but even if it is good, I'll be buried in a sea of other books. It'd help if someone with some visibility could boost it or plug it, which brings me back to square one.
I couldn't bear to see him giving up so soon after accomplishing so much. We talked for a while longer, glancing at the manuscript and back at each other until I remembered. What about the author we saw? Nick? We could talk to him. He was mentioning that he had another reading sometime soon.
You've got to be kidding! I mean, he probably gets swarmed with the fans wanting him to proof their stories. Why would he give me the time of day?
Because it's a start. Just like with writing, you've got to take a chance and put words on a blank page. Worst he'll do is say no, and I'll buy another copy of his book so he doesn't eject us.
Us? You're coming with me?
Of course! I got you inspired enough to write all that. The least I can do is be there to try to help you make something of it, and also take 50% of the profit, mister. His eyes went wide for a moment, his lip trembling cutely as he stared at me. In a moment, he was on top... How? What the fuck? He was on top of me, hugging me tightly and burying his face in my neck. Okay, stop, you're being weird. It took a moment, and the rather awkward rush of blood through my body, going into very particular places, before he slipped off of me, seeming to realize that he practically tackled onto my bed. What? Onto my bed.
Then let's do this. Come hell or high water, I'm going to see my name in print.
Prince's name out on a piece of paper. There you go, buddy. I smiled broadly. He seemed most in himself when he was excited, and I was growing to enjoy that about him, and more. Oh yes, enjoy. We checked the library schedule and found out when the next reading was. If we left the house immediately, we could just make it. We said our goodbyes to Kobe, leaving him with a cup of coffee and a confused look before jumping in the car. We were both nervous. Seth spent the trip looking out the window and then back at the pile of papers in his lap. Got myself glancing over at him now and again, hoping that I wasn't setting him up for failure. And you did! Great job! We made it to the library just at the tail end of the reading. Again, there was a table out front for signings, and after enough people had filtered out and away from the lobby, we walked up. Hi, thanks for Hey, you made it. Glad to see I was convincing enough to get you to return. Seth stood there, quivering, blushing, and completely unable to speak. Once the author's face shifted to a concerned look, I knew I had to do something. I don't mean to bother you. I don't mean to be a bother. It's just that it was nice to chat with you for a bit at the last one, and my friend, Seth here, wanted some professional advice. The author looked a little skeptical as I waited for Seth to step up closer.
Yes, I mean...
Can't speak, clutching a sheaf of paper in your hands and catching me at the end of a reading. Let me guess, you want me to look over something?
Yes.
The author sighed to himself for a moment before looking back up to Seth. I get 100 enthusiastic writers trying to ply me with buying copies of my book or giving me gifts to get me to read their work. There's a reason publishers have slush piles, you know? Convince Seth to speak for himself. Yeah, speak up for yourself, man! I looked over to Seth and nodded my head in the author's direction. I knew if he really wanted to do this, he needed to speak up for himself. I know.
I read I've read the war stories about slush piles, agent fees, and publishing in general. It's been part of what kept me from sitting down to write. I don't expect much, just a glance or some advice. I'm sure you know how difficult it is for new writers. I remember you talking about it in your memoir.
It was a difficult time, getting noticed enough to actually snag a publishing contract. Even then, I still have to stay relevant, so go to screenings and readings. It's hard work. I know.
I know! That's why I'm willing to take this risk. Because someone believes in me, and that's a start.
Seth glanced back at me with a smile, his tail flickering against my hip. Yeah! Why? The author chuckled and held out his hand. Alright, first 3 pages. You've got a few minutes of my time, and I'm not pulling any punches.
Of course!
Seth's eyes went wide as the author took the pages offered and began to browse. I pat him gently on the shoulder and went to sit down, letting my body calm down from the high. As I glanced back over, the two of them were having a spirited conversation. The other seemed particularly animated and was smiling. A wave of relief rolled over me. Alright, I'll give you a call soon. I had zoned out for most of the conversation, but perked back up when Seth came over, nearly vibrating with joy.
He liked it! He actually liked it! He said it was rough, which I expected being a first draft. But he was going to take the first chapter to his agent.
See? It's worth it to take a risk every now and again.
You're more than just a muse! You're like my guardian angel!
Flattery will get you everywhere. Aw, no I'm not. Oh, come on. Once I saw someone I liked getting so close to the dream, I had to do something. I like to think you would have done the same. He smiled broadly and leaned up to kiss me on the cheek.
You are far too modest, Jaybird. Literally, none of this would have been possible without you. Which is why we must go celebrate.
I know just the place. It was still too early to go to the club, so we decided to swing back to my place. Seth was animated like I'd never seen before. His head with flooded with possibilities, hopes and dreams about what this could mean. I was glad to see him happy and did enjoy some basking in his adulation. But I also remembered what Nick had said about the hours to travel selling himself at stores. What if his dream meant the end of this with us? Seth enthusiasm. Oh yes, totally normal sentence structure. Didn't stop even after we walked through the door. The instant he saw Kobe, he scooped him up in a hug. I think it was the first time I ever saw my little bro turn that purple.
My goodness, I don't think I've ever felt this energized.
I'm glad to hear it. We can hang out here for a while, and then all 3 of us can hit the club. We can have a couple of drinks, dance a little, maybe pick up a guy. That's all you, bro.
That sounds fantastic. Look at me. I've never danced before in my life, and I'm giddy at the thought of making an ass of myself. Well, you already have. Good job. Ha ha ha!
Ah, that's the spirit, Seth.
Maybe I should sit down for a moment. My head is still reeling from all this.
We've got plenty of time. Why don't you go lie down for a bit? I've got a few things to do around the house. I'll check in a few minutes.
Thank you again, Jaybird. You are the most gracious host.
He's a cutie, Jaybird, and a good hugger. Hey now, hands up. I saw him first. Well, I also may have helped launch his dream career. He's all yours. It's pretty clear he's really into you. I chuckled as I slid out of my coat. There were still a few things to do if we were going out tonight. I wondered if I should get to them or check up on Seth. Finish chores first. He can fucking wait. My responsibility got the better of me, and I started in on the chores I'd been neglecting. Kobe took this as his cue to leave, ducking out the door before I could ask him to help out. Hey, thanks for the chores! I almost forgot I'm meeting someone for coffee before the club anyway. never seemed to really work out well, being the practical one of the two of us. Still, left to my own devices, I made short work of the dishes and the cleaning. It wasn't long before the sun had begun to dip in the sky. I hadn't heard a peep out of Seth, despite my activity out front. I took off the latex gloves I've been using and left them on the counter as I peeked into the bedroom. And there he was, masturbating, furiously fapping to my underwear. Ugh. Clearly, Seth had overestimated his stamina. He was out cold and snoring softly. Let him sleep. I'm gonna let him sleep multiple days in a row of writing, seemingly with little sleep. I clearly been tough on him. I know he wanted to celebrate, but maybe what he really needs is rest. I must have dozed off for a second myself, because when my eyes flickered open, Seth was stretching and yawning as he got back to his feet.
Ooh, what happened?
You fell asleep about 5 hours ago. Kobe's bed no less, which makes you one of the few people to just sleep in it besides him.
I guess I was more exhausted than I thought. Sorry I wasn't more fun tonight.
It's alright. We had an exciting day. That, and I much prefer sleeping in the same room as you to not hearing from you.
Jaybird?
As I sat on the edge of my bed, Seth patted softly over to me. Draping his arms all around me, he slid smoothly... What? Into my lap. What? What the f... Don't sit on me! You're a guy! I hate it when a guy puts all of his weight on me, because I fucking get crushed. One time I was snuggling with my ex-boyfriend, who was an asshole, and like, he put all of his weight on my chest, and I couldn't breathe. I'm like, fucking almost died right then and there. It was awful. But don't sit on me! If you're heavier than me, don't sit on me. I will fucking kill you. I have long nails. I can fucking stab you with them. Draping his arms around me, he slid smoothly into my lap and pressed his lips firmly, but gently against my own. We held each other in that moment, cloaked in darkness, and on such a silent night, just keeping close and safe in each other's arms. Because there's no immediate danger whatsoever around here. When the kiss finally broke, reluctantly on both our ends, Seth smiled down at me and rested his head on my shoulder for a moment before slowly sliding back out of my lap. Are you taller than me or shorter than me?
That's my way of saying thank you. Thank you for humoring me, pushing me, and most of all, for being willing to put up with my vanishing. Not many other people would be willing to take someone back after that.
I'm not most people, Seth, and if that kiss was any indication, you are certainly worth waiting for.
You are such a flatterer! Unfortunately, I don't think I'm up for much more tonight. That full-body giddy high was all that has faded, and my body is starting to rebel against my currently vertical position.
Would you like some coffee? Let me take you home. Let me drive you home, then. I wouldn't want you to pass out on the way and get in an accident.
It's alright. It's not that far, and the traffic will be light. Besides, my place is an absolute pigsty right now, and I couldn't bear to have you see that. I have lukewarm coffee in the car.
Ew, don't drink lukewarm coffee. It's disgusting. Only if you are absolutely sure.
I am. Fair enough. Fair warning, though. Keep your schedule clear. I intend to make up for these half-hearted dates with something spectacular.
I look forward to it. I can't wait to see what you might have planned. Just make sure to pull out all the stops.
I assure you, not a single stop will remain unpulled in my entire apartment.
He gathered his things together and after another peck on the cheek goodbye made his way out the door. I feel like this character would be better suited with a fedora. I don't know why, but I mean, he's not a nice guy, but I feel like a fedora would suit him rather well if he had to wear a hat. Doubts still lingered about Seth's book. It brought us together for the moment, but I couldn't help worrying it might also break us apart. Then again, that's what dating was all about. It seems being willing to put yourself out there and take a chance, then you can make a connection. It's not like I was seeing him for free lunches and attention. This was clearly important to him. Hooray! He likes me. Hooray, my dog's barking. But holy fuck. Oh! With that being screened, if you guys enjoyed this episode of Amorous and would like to see more of this cringy fucking game, then leave a like down below, leave a comment down below, share with your friends, subscribe if you haven't, ring that notification bell, and remember, die safely. Bye-bye!